What is going on, Built Nation? It's your boy Built for Anything, and happy New Year to you guys. All right, I know you're probably home and you're saying to yourself, I got my New Year's resolutions all set up. I'm feeling good. I'm gonna get off and running. I just want to stop you right there. Ditch the New Year's resolutions, okay? Just forget about all of that. And here's why. I'm gonna give you some history on where did this whole concept of New Year's resolutions even came from. Now, 4,000 years ago, it started off with the Babylonians, all right? Now, what they used to do is they used to celebrate the middle of March, okay? That was what they considered to be their New Year. So it wasn't January, all right? I'm gonna give you some background on that, on how that whole thing switched around. But the Babylonians looked at that period as this is when they're gonna be planting new crops. And so they prayed to the gods and said that they would return any favors or anything that they borrowed. They would make good, basically they would make good on their debts. And if by doing so, that hopefully in the year, right, throughout the year, that they would, the gods would have favor on them, okay? And they felt like if they didn't keep their promises, that the gods would not have favor on them. Now, fast forward, you have the Romans under Julius Caesar, who decided to change the whole calendar up and decided that January, which January was named after the god Janus, which Janus is a pagan god that they worship, in which that god focused on new beginnings. And so they focused on the past and the present. Now, this was a god that supposedly had two faces, which allowed them to look forward and look behind. And so they wanted to celebrate their gods. And so they would also make promises to their gods in hopes for favor. Now, the Romans and the Babylonians, they were the first ones to celebrate and make these resolutions. Now, Christians, right, we fast forward ahead. Now, Christians looked at January 1st, the new beginnings. They were very spiritual, and so they would pray to the gods in hopes that they would have a great new year. And so when you look at New Year's Eve was really a time where they would pray into the new year. Okay, now most Americans look at New Year's Eve as a time to party. They go out, they get drunk, wake up in the morning and kind of regret who you took home. That whole concept, right? So what's the issue here? Now, when we look at New Year's resolutions, here's a statistic for you. Now, statistically, they say approximately 45% of Americans actually set New Year's resolutions. Now, if you do the math, there's about 320 million people approximately in the US. So 40% of that is somewhere around 140 million people. So if 140 million people are actually the ones creating New Year's resolutions for themselves, only 8%, which is about 11.4, right? Only about 8% of people actually keep their New Year's resolutions. So the other 92%, it just falls to the wayside. And now there's some theory behind that. Like, why is that the case? Because now New Year's resolutions we make today are promises to ourselves rather than promises to the Most High, right? And that's, again, if you're religious, you're non-religious, whatever the case may be, but people do not maintain their own promises to themselves, right? And so what am I saying? Am I saying that you should not make promises to yourself? No, you should. However, what you got to consider is this. You should not be told when you should create promises to yourself. You should have goals. You should have a plan towards your goal, and you should be positive along the way in reaching your goal. And so the biggest problem is that people tend to create a lot of different goals for themselves, right? And then the first sign of failure, they just abandon the whole thing. So guys, you should not wait to be told to do something. You should be willing to do things on your own. You should be driven. And so I want you to think about something. We are told when we should gather together around a table and have a big feast. That's called Thanksgiving. We are told when we should give gifts to each other, right? Or expect gifts in return. That's called Christmas. We are told when you should buy flowers for your significant other or chocolates. That's called Valentine's Day, right? And the list goes on and on and on. And so you gotta think outside of the box, all right? Don't be told when you should have certain goals or set certain goals for yourself. Set those goals for yourself and work hard to achieve them. And it might not happen within that year. It may take 2 years, it may take 3 years, it may take 4 years. But the reality is you owe it to yourself, okay, to do good by yourself, do good by others, and just make a difference in the lives of the people around you, okay? Because karma has a way of punishing those that just put out the wrong vibes into the universe. So make sure that you're putting out the right vibes. And again, make sure that you're staying committed to your goals. All right. So let's say forget New Year's resolutions. If anybody asks you about New Year's resolutions, you should say, I'm off that. All right. I got my goals and I'm staying true to my goals. All right. That's it. You're going to have bumps along the way, but stay the course. All right. So that's it for today, guys. Again, I hope you guys are off to a great start in the year. It's your boy Built for Anything. Peace and love. Share this video and peace and love. Stay safe. I'll catch you on the next video. I'm out. Peace.